What's up, traders? Welcome back to another challenge update. Now, just finished week 3 of this FundedNext one step 100K challenge. And for those who have watched the first 2 episodes, week 1 was a very small losing week. So I started off with a couple losses. Week 2 was an absolute blunder. So there was like 6 trades, all losers, one massive lack of mental discipline, breaking rules, accidentally entering the wrong risk calculation. So it was an absolute fucking disaster week 2. Now week 3 has been a little bit different. It's been challenging because I've had to try to regain from week two's blunders of continually making those mistakes, having those losses. So week 3 has all been about building up my confidence again, and just being very level-headed when trading. I'm now on a drawdown, right? So the account was in a drawdown of 3.5%. It's a max loss of 6%. So, quite heavily into drawdown, just over half into the drawdown. So just having to try to get my mentality and my confidence back up to believe in my strategy, believe in myself to be able to pass this has been tough. So there was a little bit less trades in week 3, but overall, 4 losses, 1 winner, and even the winner wasn't so good. I was in the winner for a number of days, which means the swap fees were high, so risk reward was quite low. So although there was a winner and less losers than the previous week, I'm staying optimistic in the fact that week 1 was terrible. Week 1 was okay, right? 2 losers isn't a big problem, but week 2 was terrible. Week 3 not as bad. So now I'm confident now. Now, this might be delusional, but you've got to be delusional, right? You've got to be delusional in this. You've got to absolutely have the belief in yourself. No matter what, you can pull yourself through it. So I do have that belief that week 2 was very bad. Week 3, not as bad. Week 4, which is what we're just starting now, is going to be a positive week, right? I'm confident. I'm in a short, right now on USD CAD, and it's close to hitting take profit. It's a 1 to 2 risk reward trade. So it's a nice risk reward trade. It has been in barely any drawdown. So that'll be a good winner to have. There's a couple of other trades that I'm looking to get in right now. But yeah, it wasn't a very good finish to the week. But week 4 is going to be very, very different. I'm going to show you the dashboard so I can be very transparent with how this challenge is going, because whether I pass or fail this, I'm going to be doing every single week a progress update, a mentality update, but also just looking at the P&L and how I feel about this going forward and how confident I am that I'm going to build this back at a drawdown again. So, but before we get to the dashboard, I want to just highlight, like with prop firms, it's so easy to just give up, do a reset, buy another one, and then just start from scratch. The problem with doing that, like there's a massive problem in doing that, is you never end up, if you continually do that, you never end up developing the resilience, the perseverance, and the ability to pull yourself out of a drawdown. If you're trading your own account, which is what we all want to get to one day, we don't want to just live on prop firms because you don't know how long they're going to be around for. You ideally want to be trading your own account. So if you constantly have this mindset, it doesn't matter, I can just do a reset, or I can just buy another challenge, you're never going to learn the ability to pull yourself out of drawdown. And that the ability to do that is what will make you as a trader, to be able to manage your risk as you're going in drawdown, to be able to manage the risk on the way back up and pull yourself out of drawdown, have that confidence in your mentality, in your edge, to be able to pull yourself out of drawdown. You need to be able to learn that skill of pulling yourself out of your drawdown. So this is the challenge I'm welcoming right now. I'm absolutely excited that I've got this opportunity to now go through a drawdown period and showing you that I can pull myself out of it's actually a 4% now. I had a loss that was held over actually a week. That this loss, it just happened this morning. So this account is in a 4% drawdown. It's not so bad. When you have a 6% max, it's getting close, right? But I'm so excited about the opportunity now to pull myself out of this drawdown and show you that it's going to go from bad week, bad week, bad week, positive week, positive week, however many weeks it takes. I'm not going to do a reset on this account. You're going to see me, whether I fail it, you're going to see that. Or whether you see me pull out of this drawdown, you're going to see that. Now, like I said, I'm excited about this challenge because it's going to build more resilience in myself. Imagine the confidence you're going to have by pulling yourself out of a drawdown and showcasing this to everyone on YouTube. Yes, this channel doesn't have many viewers right now or subscribers, but that's okay. Like, I want to have this. Imagine that confidence boost you're going to have by having this out there for the world to see, and you can pull yourself out of drawdown. That confidence is what's going to turn me into a phenomenal trader. Like, I've been funded, I am funded, right? And I'm doing this other one. So I do have the confidence already, but there's still a long way to go with how I develop my skill set, my execution skill set, my mental edge, my mental skill set. There's still a long way for me to go. And I'm going to document all of it. And this is a great opportunity for me to showcase myself. So show to myself and show to you and all the other trading community that, you know, don't just give up. We can do this. You get yourself into drawdown. Don't be in such a, like, I guess, an impatient mindset where, I'm just going to go on tilt now. I'm going to go risk 2% for this next trade, and if I lose it, I blow the account. But if I win, I'm back up to break even. That's If you have that mindset and you trade like that, imagine what you're going to be like when you trade in your actual live account. You're going to make errors. You're going to lose real capital. Yeah, I'm at risk of losing 560 US dollars if I fail this challenge. It's nothing, but I'm not taking it as that. I'm not looking at that, right? I'm not looking at, oh, I can potentially lose 560 now. It's nothing. So I'll just go and go all in on this next trade. I'm in this to build the skill set and build the resilience to be able to make this a thing and for me to be profitable long term, year after year, decade after decade. And the only way to do it is to build your way out or dig your way out of drawdown periods like this. So I'm really excited about this opportunity. But let's get into the dashboard. I might show one or two trades, but I think this week I just want to focus on what the dashboard looks like, my risk model, how that looks, and how I'm actually maintaining my confidence to pull myself out of this. But let's go into it.
All right, so here's the dashboard. Now, as you can see, FundedNext, this is my name, Stellar account, 100K, still a one-step challenge, yep, 100K. So you can see here, it's still going, it's an active account, so daily loss limit ongoing, maximum loss limit ongoing, and minimum trading days passed, so 12 days at the moment. All right, so you can see this is properly an actual challenge. Now, that's the balance, right? 95,816, so just over 4% in drawdown, which is absolutely nothing, really, when you think about it. Yeah, when you're doing challenges, funded accounts, it can be a lot because of what your drawdown limit is. Whether it's 6%, 8%. This one is a 6%. So, it is a little bit tighter, but it is a one step. So they have a little bit more restrictive rules or tighter rules when you have your one steps. I'm 100% okay with that because I don't risk a super high amount each time per trade. So as you can see, just over 4% drawdown at the moment. This doesn't show any floating positions. Well, it does. It'll show you floating loss, but I'm in 3 trades right now, and they're all in profit. Actually, they're all looking quite nice. So I'll show that at one point as well. So what I want to do though, I want to have a look here. I want to show my journal so you can see the trades. You can see that this is all legit. All of these, the losses I've had, the winners I've had, you'll be able to see them all. And you can see how the recovery out of drawdown will look, because that's the key, right? That's the key skill set you need to be able to develop as a trader. Maintaining your risk, being, well risk adverse when you're having losing streaks, and then being able to capitalize when you're having winning streaks. So now at the moment, have been in a bit of a losing streak. So maintaining my risk per trade is really important. Not going on tilt, very important. And then just building yourself out of it, because ideally we want to be trading on live accounts eventually, right? Not being, held by prop firms. Prop firms are a great start to your career, but not the end. Definitely will always be a part of my trading portfolio, but the live account is definitely where you have a lot more flexibility. You can risk a lot higher. Like I know traders that risk as much as 5 to 10% per trade when they see a really good setup. You can't do that on a prop firm, right? But you shouldn't be doing that when you're a new trader anyway, or an intermediate developing trader, because you can lose such a large chunk of your account. But I got a mate that makes like a couple of $100,000 a month trading, and he'll have some big risks per trade, and he'll lose it, but he'll make it. He'll make a great deal. And you can't do that with prop firms, right? Prop firms are great, to cap your risk, of course, and help develop all that discipline you want, but it's not the be all and end all. So you can see here, now if you go into journaling, I think that's where we find it. Yeah, I don't normally look at my positions on here, but you can see, right? So these are great. These are the open positions I'm in at the moment, as I said. So open positions, all short positions. So GBP/NZD, GBP CAD, and USD CAD. So last week, we can actually have a look at this. So we had the winner here. This was last week. This was at the end of week 2. So week 3, we had loss, loss, win, loss. Wait. Let me just. Okay, that was actually this one. Franc yen that was closed this week, right? It was opened. It was open for like a week. This is that one that just closed on Monday morning out. So the week, it wasn't a good week. Like honestly, look at this: loss, 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 win, loss. So 1, 2, 3, 4 losses, 1 win. This one here is on this week, but this week has been last week, week 3, week 2. Yeah, week 3. Sorry, week 3, 4 losses, 1 win. Terrible still. Have a look at this. This is how the account started. Loss, loss, break even, pretty much. Loss, 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 loss. That was week 2. Week 2 was this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 losers in the week. Terrible. And then, actually that was in that week. So 7 losers, 1 winner. Week 3 has been the loss, win, loss, 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 right? So 4 losses, 1 win. Now we've started off that week with that Monday morning. This one closed off as a loss, but I'm in these right now and they're looking good currently. But you can see all these trades. You can marry that up with my own journal right here. So these are those losses, and these are all calculated with the commissions and the swap fees in it. So as I show here, this 1,082.46, that's that winner here, but obviously there was fees in it. So I calculated on my spreadsheet with the fees included for that particular trade, right? So yeah, you can see all these. I'm tracking all of it, right? I'm tracking all of it. And to have such poor performance, all these losers, and still only be down, right? 95.82949. That's actually not so bad, because if these open trades at the moment, if these open trades are winners, the account's looking much nicer. If you have a look here on my prop calculator, right? I've got my risk calculator, 100K. So I've got trades left to breach max drawdown. So if I'm having 1 to 3 winners, there's still 7 trades. If I have 7 losers in a row from here, then I lose the account. It's the same obviously with the 1 to 2, but when you're looking at your recovery, trades to break even from here, 4 1 to 3 winners, and the account's back to break even. I'm in 3 at the moment, right? But the targets are 1 to 2. All right, so this is the reality for this particular scenario. Trades to get back to break even. This is a 1 to 2 as I've got here. Trades to reach 110K balance, 8 and 12. Like, forget about looking at this one right now. This is the one I'm focusing on. Getting back to break even. If I have these 3, then it's literally going to be three trades again to break even, right? And you think, oh, it's still freaking 6 trades. Yes, it's still 6 trades, but look at what we've had. Look at all these losses. If I have 3 trades, a break and it gets me that much closer to break even, the performance on the account is still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 losers and 3 winners. 14 losers, 3 winners, and if these are winners, so we 14 losers and 6 winners. That's a really poor win-loss ratio open without it finished, right? Because it's all based on probabilities. You can't just look, oh, you have 5 losers in a row. That's a terrible win-loss ratio. You have to look at it over a larger period of time, like a quarter or 6 months or even a year, right? So if I have these 3 winners, then it'll be the 14 losses and 6 winners, and the account looking good. So this is the thing about managing your accounts. You need to make sure your risk is capped. Look how good this is. 3, just a bit more. Well, that's the winner. 3. Look how capped. That's a nice winner. Loss, 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 loss. But look at the loss. Look at the losses. They're all around that same amount. This was the one where I absolutely made a freaking, that was the blunder. So if you haven't seen that video on what happened, go check that out. It's on my channel. Now, but the majority of these have been, all of them have been a perfect risk per trade. So if you have your 1 to 2s and your 1 to 3s, your account is looking quite nice, right? Because all you have to do, if you're trading a 1 to 2, or let's just say 1 to 2, you have 4 winners out of 10 and 6 losers, right? If you're risking, let's just say as a 1%, your 4 winners, right? And your 1 to 2, that's an 8R, return. And if you have 6 losers, that's a 8 plus 8 minus 6 is 2. You're still positive. You're still net positive, right? You're still net positive. So that could be, if you have 10 trades in a month, then you're up 2 R's or 2%, depends how much you're risking. If you have 20 trades in a month, then you're up 4%. And that's on a 4 out of 10, 40% win-loss ratio, right? So focus, don't worry about losers, focus on just executing. And this is what I tell myself, Tony, just focus on executing the strategy, because this is all probabilities based. The winners will come. I'm not saying that there's going to be the next 6 trades are going to be winners, right? But we could have here win, 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 loss, win, loss, loss, win, 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 right? It's overall going to pick that account back up. Yes, at the moment, because we've had a losing streak, I need to have a couple of weeks of, more winners than losers. I have to have maybe a 60-70% win rate would be a really good way to get this account out of the drawdown. If it keeps on being 4 winners out of 10, it's going to be harder. The account will get itself out, but it'll take a much longer time. So right now, it would be very good to have the winners more often than not. Obviously, a higher win-loss ratio will help. Yes, a greater risk reward will help as well, but I'm not going to be holding on to trades just for the sake of, oh, if I have a 1 to 3, then yeah, I'll get out of drawdown quicker. If a 1 to 3 is relevant based on targets, levels that the trade's aiming at, sure, but not just blindly holding and hoping, oh, I hope it hits a 1 to 3, I'll get out then. No, that's not what it's about. So there's the closed trades, that's the risk calc, the 6. So we need to back to break even, right? That's all we need. That is not hard to do. And I've got these. So in my last video, I had this little equity curve showing what it looks like for a 1 to 3 scenario, risk reward. And this one's the 1 to 2. So even a 1 to 2 risk reward scenario, it still has that same nice smoothed out drawdown in case you have large losing streaks. And then on your recovery, to go from, what does it say here, to breach 17 losses, back to 100K, you need 9 wins. Back to 100K on a 1 to 3, you need 6 wins. So obviously it's a bit easier, but 9 wins, because your risk is increasing each time, and it's able to go a lot more exponential, especially when you get back here. So I'm still, this is, like I said before, this is a really awesome opportunity for me to showcase skills in being able to get myself out of drawdown, staying level-headed, just staying focused on executing the strategy, not going on tilt because I want to pass this challenge and or I don't want to, be sitting in drawdown for a long time. I don't give a shit. I'm trying to build this skill set that, is going to make me a consistently, year after year, decade after decade, profitable trader. And these are the things that, staring at me right in the face, help me helped me get that confidence, knowing that, hey, you've had a losing streak, but all you need is a couple of winners. Then you're back looking really nice on the account. So you can see all this here. You can see that one account. You can see that it's active. It's not breached. It's an active account. This is that one, right? But this is the account. Now the trades that we're currently in. Let's just go and have a look, right? So let me just move that out of the way for a sec. So the USD CAD. Now we had it come down here really nicely, but based on my strategy, I'm holding this. I'm setting and forgetting. I hate using that term actually, but this is a very specific target, and I'm waiting for this to get hit. This is back to break even. So if this comes and takes me out of here, that's fine. But more often than not, once this strategy moves beyond this particular level, I know that the odds are more in my favor that it will take profit. But if it comes back to the break even level, it's going to take me out at a stop loss. So this is at a break even, and more often than not, based on my strategy, it will hit that 1 to 2. So this is aiming at just over 1 to 2. So it's looking nice at the moment. That's USD CAD. That was the 4 hour. On the daily, we've had price. This is a 4 hour supply zone. So we had price literally testing here, show weakness, which was the bias for entering in this short. And I'm not aiming for the whole move. So I'm just aiming for a piece of the move. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to pick tops and pick bottoms. I'm just trying to take a piece of the move. That's it. So we're in this trade at the moment. Not looking bad. Looks good. Now GBP CAD, and this was a trade that just got in yesterday. So nice reaction at our entry. Now coming back down here, hoping we get some resistance here and we start to get a little bit of momentum. I'm just looking at the EMAs. Yeah, it's having some bounces around this EMAs. The 4 hours nice and down there. So this is still a good trade. I'm happy to be in, obviously. Now nowhere near, moving this to a break even just yet. I'm going to give it a chance to have its move. And then the third one that I'm in is GBP NZD. As you can see, really nice reaction. It's using that 50 MA really nicely on these 2 points. Now I think it's the same here. Yeah, so it's at the 50 MA right now, and I'm not looking at get out because of the 50 MA. My strategy doesn't solely look at what the EMAs are doing. It's just a little bit of confluence. Sometimes I'll be more likely to hold on to the winners longer if all the EMAs are in my favor. So if we had daily, weekly, everything, then that I'll be more likely to hold on to that rather than you 1 to 2. So those are the trades we're in. Looks good. I'm still super confident, guys. If these trades come through, that'd be lovely. There's no other trades. I did have an entry on Euro USD. Hasn't filled just yet, but that's an order I have open, another short, and that was based on price coming and hitting a daily. You see this candle here, right? Look at this bullish candle before a nice explosive bearish move. Massive wick to the downside and a nice pull down here. So price has now come back to test this area. Yes, there's a 4 hour supply zone a little above, right? Which price, no, that's a 2 hour, sorry. Yeah, H2. Price could come and test here, but the fact we've had this nice reaction from this area, I'm happy to take this short trade, right? The odds are in my favor to go from here. We are, let me have a look here. We do have this level here confluent with our entry, a little bit of a wick up two. So bang, a little wick up two, and hopefully we get a move. But this might just keep going. Once this trade gets to this level here, the 618 on this retrace, and touches that, I'll be taking that entry, that limit order off, because that is the point where if I was in this trade and it came and tested here, that's when my stop goes to break even. And that's where I wouldn't be getting into this trade again. If we're already in it, cool, I move it to break even, but I'm not going to be entering a new entry at this point if price comes and tests here. If price does, just do this, hasn't quite tested here, I'm happy to get this because I would expect that to be a bit of a liquidity grab, and then we get a move down here. So 3 trades are in, USD CAD, GBP CAD, GBP NZD, and Euro USD open order. So we'll see how these go. Yeah, there are other ones I'm looking at, and I guess I'll talk about them in next week's video if I get filled. I don't want to waste time talking about them unless they come to fruition. So guys, I'm super pumped still. Hope you're enjoying the series so far. Now I have had some days, some moments where I've just felt like absolute shit during this journey, like just questioning myself, like, why am I doing this, Tony? Like, you're not good enough. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so detrimental, the kind of things you end up saying when you're having a losing streak, and so stupid, because you realize when you're in a winning streak, all these amazing things you say to yourself. Why do we change? Why do we change as soon as you have a couple of losers? And if you have a friend or someone that you know and they have a losing streak, we don't say to them, oh, you suck, what are you doing? Stop trading, you're an idiot, you can't do this, you need to go back and learn more. You don't. If you said some of the things that you say to yourself to a friend or a colleague that's going through a losing streak, you wouldn't have any friends. So why do you speak to yourself that way? Right? If you give love to everyone else, if you give support and encouragement to everyone else, why aren't you doing that to yourself? You're more important than anything, right? We ourselves are more important than anything. That's not selfish. If we're being if we're being kind and encouraging to ourselves, it'll make us a better person to be nicer to other people. So look after number one, right? Look after number one up here. Speak to yourself kindly. This is what I have to tell me all the time, because man, my self-talk sometimes can be pretty disgusting. And it's all part of your psychology, right? Like, you can, it's easy to talk about this, but it's so hard to take it into action, because when you go through a losing streak, the first thing, like, it's so easy. Your brain doesn't have any problem with talking shit to yourself. It's everything you do, all the thoughts you have, you've got to be so intentional. You've got to be conscious about the things that you're saying to yourself. So that's just the first part of your mentality, just being conscious and aware of how you're thinking and how you're talking to yourself. Because once you're conscious and aware, you can make changes. So yeah, look, I hope you're enjoying this. We'll be back for week 4 next week. Hopefully this week is going to be a couple of winners and a bit of a regain on this account. So it's down just over 4% right now. The goal is to be just down, 2% by the end of this week. So if we have these 3 trades I'm currently in, maybe one more winner, then we're sitting really good. But if you're going through a challenge at the moment, or you're funded, please put in the comments any challenges that you're going through. I want this to be a bit of a forum. Like, follow me on Instagram. It's Tony Strugar Trades. Share with me what you're doing there. If it's hard to chat on YouTube, send me a message on Instagram, and love to just feed off each other and see how we can make this work for everyone who's trying to be a professional trader and make this as a full-time thing. Like, I've came from a full-time position trading for a fund here in Australia, and now making this move to trade for myself. And wow, it's so different. It's so different, right? Going through these losing streaks, it's hard to say, but trading for yourself now as a full-time job, knowing that this is how your money has to come in every single week, gee man, that puts a lot of stress. So it may even become a time where I do look to go back to work, just because I don't want to have that extra burden affecting how I trade. So right now, I've got a backing that I can actually do this full time, which is a blessing. But hopefully this challenge can be passed. 1, 2, 3 more weeks. That'd be nice. The 4 to 6 week mark will be beautiful. But without further ado, guys, I'm out. Let me know how you're going in the comments, and I'll see you on the next video. All right, peace.